Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is Dan Orlovsky back here on the show. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great, Rich. Good to be with you, bud. Hope you're well.
Good to chat with you. Which one are you more concerned with, Browns or Chargers, after their disappointing Week 6 loss? Dan?
Oh, no question, it's the Browns, and I agree with you. And to be honest with you, I'm more concerned as I sit here at 2:22 on the East Coast on Monday than I was 6 hours ago this morning after rewatching that tape. What was the final score yesterday? Was it did the Cardinals score 33 or something, or 37? If you rewatch that tape, they could have scored 50. It is so bad on defense for Cleveland right now. And I'm at such a loss for how that revamped secondary, specifically the safeties, are playing so bad. The first play of the game should be a 70-yard touchdown pass to Christian Kirk over John Johnson's head, if not for the Myles Garrett pressure. And this is the third good offense that Cleveland has faced this year. They've faced Kansas City, they faced the Chargers, and they faced Arizona. And they've had 37, 47, and 33 hung on their head. And that's a concern. Yes, the injuries are a reality. And then the factor with Baker Mayfield, Rich, I really, if you just watch the tape and if you know the type of player he is and the technician he is, that shoulder's a real thing right now. He mechanically is so not representative of who he is. I would by far and away say the Browns. The Chargers, a 3rd and 3 drop by Mike Williams, a 4th and 3 drop by Mike Williams, and Justin Herbert did not play up to his kind of standard that he has set. That's an anomaly in my opinion.
So, yeah, I absolutely hear you on that. Why do you think this is going on with Baker? Is it because his left shoulder, as he says, feels crappy? What is it? The line, he's without 2 tackles? Because, that is one of the most hot button subjects in the NFL, certainly with Browns fans, certainly with many fans who just talk fantasy or just kind of surf in or just know Baker from his commercials, about him just not being the caliber of player that the Browns want him to be or that he can be. I'm wondering what your evaluation is of Baker right now.
Yeah, there's a lot attached to it. I'd say number one, the issue with the shoulder is a very real thing. Again, you can tell that Baker is, and I'm not using this comparison because short quarterbacks, but he is very much so Drew Brees. He's a technician. He's got to be very mechanically sound, and he is. That's what allows him to play, 1, quick, and 2, have elite ball placement, rare ball placement. And when you have the shoulder, that has started to show itself more and more. And if I would say, anybody listening, think of the last ridiculous throw Baker made or awesome throw Baker made accuracy-wise, you'd have to rack your brain because it hasn't shown up. And last year it was all over his tape. And I think the shoulder's a big thing. Do I think that there's something going on with the Odell situation? I do. And again, for anybody that, disputes that or thinks that I'm trying to make something up, again, cut on the tape. I'll tell you right here. There's a first quarter 5-12. First quarter, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. He's got to throw to Odell on 3rd and 5 in the red zone. Just doesn't throw it to him. It's a shallow. Very next play, they go for it. Odell's on another shallow cross. Now, offenses teach things differently, but one of the things you are taught is versus all-out pressure and man coverage, if you got a shallow cross, unless this team is a notorious drop people out from the middle of the field defense, like the Bengals did to Justin Fields a month ago, you throw the shallow cross. Odell's wide open, and he just doesn't look at him. And so this is a continuing thing. So I think the shoulder's a thing. I think whatever is going on with Odell Beckham and him and that type of chemistry or connection that's not there is a very real thing.
Why isn't it there? What could possibly be the reason that you're kind of either dancing around or what? What is that, Dan? What do you got?
No, I've always thought 2 things. When Baker has Odell Beckham on the field, he gets the play call, he thinks player, and then he goes to the play. As a quarterback, you should always hear the play call, what's the play, then where are my players? And it's flipped with Odell. That's exactly why the interception last year against the Bengals happens and he ends up tearing his ACL. Because in the very same game, they run the very same play out of the very same formation versus the very same defense, and he runs it properly. And I just think there's this thing with okay, where's Odell? I got to get Odell the ball. And then I think there's this aspect where you've seen some parts this year where he doesn't look at him, even though he should be part of the progression, because it's almost like I'm trying to prove to everybody that I don't need him or I don't have to force feed him the football. So I think there's the aspect of him being inside of his own head is definitely, and again, you can't run from it anymore. This is 2 years of tape that says something is there, whether he's staring at him too much or he doesn't look at him at all.
Dan Orlovsky from ESPN here on the Rich Eisen Show, NFL Live on at 4 Eastern every single day, and so much more that Dan does. So the best team in the NFC through 6 weeks is which for you? Who do you take?
Yeah, the Cardinals have earned that right. The way that their defense is playing, obviously Kyler's playing at an incredible level. They're like this powerful finesse offense. It's so finesse because of their skill position players, but they can beat you up physically. I still say that there's 3 teams that at least have earned the right to be in that conversation, or, I would bet on being part of the mix as well. Tampa, because they're going to get healthy. The Dallas Cowboys are absolutely real, and the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Cowboys, the reason why I think they're Super Bowl contenders is we finally have seen depth of roster. We're finally seeing it. And not just depth of roster, but separation of roster. They're that good. And I know nobody really wants to give credit to what the Cowboys have done drafting, but that kid, Trayvon Diggs, is so special, and Parsons appears to be another special kid. Cedric Wilson, Pollard, taking pressure off of the guys in front of them on the depth chart. I mean, they're deep, man. They are very deep on that team.
Yeah, Rich, I completely agree. And I think a thing, too, is, so number one, you are not going to outcoach them offensively or defensively. You're just not. I mean, even the Matt LaFleur's in the Green Bay Packers or the Sean McVays you're not going to whoop them coaching style in that game, right? With Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn. That's number one. Number two, talent-wise, they're up there with anybody. I mean, they are. Number three, and this is an adamant part for me, their quarterback has gone to a different level this year. Their quarterback was not the level of playmaker that Dak Prescott is right now. The only way you go on the road, you're -2 in turnovers, and you have 10-plus penalties and win is your quarterback plays brilliant football. And he was brilliant, and it's because of the playmaking and then the clutch. What's not getting talked enough about today, and I tried to talk about it on Get Up this morning, 4th and 4 completion to Cedric Wilson on the drive that they end up kicking the game-tying field goal is a big-time play. 3rd and 25 in the NFL is, what do we always hear broadcasters say? Well, what's the call for 3rd and 25?
Right.
You're not supposed to get 24 yards on 3rd and 25. You get 12, 14, you feel great. The 3rd and 25 by Dak is it's incredible. And then obviously the game-winning touchdown is a special play because they ran that formation 9 times. It's the only time they ran that formation with that action in that game yesterday 9 times. The only time he threw that ball to CeeDee Lamb was on that game-winning play.
So where are they going to get out coached then, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it is fair to talk about some of the stuff with Mike McCarthy and clock management. I don't think yesterday is the game to talk about it.
I had a problem with them kicking Zerline on the spot with 2:40 to go. New England's got 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning left. You got them right where you want them. You're right in the middle of the plus side of the field. I mean, you've got all 3 timeouts left. You feel confident in being able to stop Mac Jones the way the defense is playing. You go for it, man. You go for it. You make Bill burn that final timeout. You take it down to the 2-minute warning. You got yourself a 3rd and manageable best you can, right? 3rd and manageable best you can. You could even pick up the first down on that 2-minute warning potential right before the 2-minute warning, the way that Zeke's running the ball, Pollard's running the ball.
Yep.
Dial it up and then just take it right down to the end, and you give Zerline an easier kick right there with like 30 seconds left in the game. I mean, unless you think like I got to get, I don't know, man. I had a problem with that one, big time.
I don't all that disagree with you. It's not as no brainer black and white for me. Like I understand and see where you're coming from in regards to, okay, let's go for it. Cause if we don't make it, we can get the ball back. I believe in our defense.
Yeah.
But I would say this. They went for it on 4th and 1 twice before in that football game. Obviously, once in the first drive they get stopped. They go for it again, I think, in the second or third drive, and they should get stopped again. Zeke just makes the play. And I don't know if that had given them some hesitation of, hey, because they didn't run the ball well yesterday. You know, they were met physically by New England. And I think, you know, as much as we can sit here and say, well, if we don't get it, then our defense can go make the stop. And but that could be the same thing with the missed field goal. Hey, let's throw him out there to see if we can go take this lead and put pressure on their young quarterback. And guess what? If he doesn't make this, I feel just as good about us making those stops and getting the ball back, which obviously the Diggs interception is a big part. It's very, very gray to me.
So I've got 3-3 teams here. I got the Steelers. I'm going to throw the Chiefs out here because we all still believe that, I think, unless you don't. Do you think the Chiefs, have you hopped off the Chiefs, Dan, or no?
No,
Okay.
no, Rich, I haven't hopped off. I think yesterday's game is a perfect example that winning covers up a lot of stuff. I feel worse about the game than I did yesterday after rewatching it. I think if they play a better opponent, they lose. You know, the turnovers are what they are. We got to stop running from the reality that just might be who the Chiefs are right now. You turn the ball over like that and the team only scores 7 points. That's not normal in the NFL off those turnovers. You know, with 20 minutes to go in that game, that's a 13-10 ball game. 20 minutes to go, and then 15, Patrick Mahomes makes 6 straight incredible third down conversions. Not first down, third down conversions. I just think that if not for that star performance cover-up in the last 15 minutes, that game's a different conversation. I'm not off on them, no, but I don't feel any better or have any less concern about their football team after yesterday.
All right, so then let me narrow it down to this subset with you, Dan Orlovsky. There were 4 1-3 teams that had a chance to dig themselves out of that hole with a win in Week 6. Once upon a time, 1-3, they had a chance to win 2 in a row and get back to 500. The Pats couldn't do it, the Eagles couldn't do it, but the Steelers and Vikings did. Which one would you be on, Steelers or Vikings, from 3-3 with 2 wins in a row coming out of it? What do you got?
Minnesota Vikings. That's an easy answer for me.
Wow.
The Minnesota Vikings won. I think Justin Jefferson, Thielen, and Kirk Cousins with Dalvin Cook are very, very, very difficult to stop. Their defense is quietly playing good, solid football this year. This is the Mike Zimmer defense that we've kind of known. Patrick Peterson's playing solid. Hunter off the edge has been an absolute wrecking crew with Griffin. I would bet on Minnesota. My thing with Seattle or my thing with Pittsburgh is that they're not going to play a backup quarterback every week. They gave up 20 points to Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense, and they only scored 23 against right now going into this week, which was historically bad pass defense.
What do you see in Big Ben when you look at his tape?
Yeah, I mean, there's too many misses still, and there's not enough big plays to make up for those misses. And so they are going to be in tight ball games every week, so to speak, and they are going to need him to make 1 or 2 big third down throws. The Juju loss is a big deal. He missed that throw last night to Claypool, but TJ Watt bailed him out.
All right. Keep going.
He's okay. He's okay.
He's okay. And which team coming off a bye this week are you in on more, Saints or 49ers? What do you got for me on that?
Ooh. I'm interested to see what the 49ers do at quarterback. I would play Trey Lance because I don't think that they're awesome. Yeah, I don't think they're awesome this year with the injuries. You know, with Kittle, how long is Kittle going to be out? With the Verrett injury in the secondary early on, I would play Trey because I think every rep Trey has shown he's gotten better. You go back to the Arizona game from 2 weeks ago, you know, outside of a couple fourth down stops, they beat Arizona. And so I'm just intrigued because I think he's going to get better and better and better. The Saints are so interesting to me because they are in a world that they have no idea what to do with, in my opinion, because while they have the big plays from Jameis this year, and they haven't had that, they also have the turnovers, and those have become a part of the offense. And they, you know, it's such when you have built 15 years of playing ball in a certain way. Drew never gave it away, and so efficient, and you didn't beat yourself. So, and now you're like, whoa, we've got these really cool big plays. but we're also giving the ball away one or two more times a game than we're accustomed to. And it's just, I think they're trying to figure out how to play football with this style of offense.
Well, I mean, what if Michael Thomas comes back this week? He's eligible to come back. I don't know if he will or he can or what he's going to look like.
Yeah.
But if Can't Guard Mike comes back and you got Kamara, maybe I mean, that defense, too. The defense is better than most in New Orleans when they get cooking, too. I don't know. I'd keep an eye on them. I'd be on the 49ers, though. I'm so hyped about them. I don't know why, but I'm still not ready to quit them either.
Yeah.
Dan.
I'm really excited to watch them on Sunday night. I think the Colts are playing really good football. I think the Colts are a couple snaps away from being a 4-2 team. Their defense is playing fantastic, and so I'm really for both those games. I think Sunday night gives us a very clear understanding of, all right, can the Colts really climb back into this? Are they as good as I kind of think they are? And the same being said with the 49ers. That's a big game. Last
one for you, Dan, and I know you got to go. You got your meeting, I'm sure, or getting ready for your show. But what do you think of my Wolverines top 10? You called some of their action this year, Cade McNamara, and then you got J.J. McCarthy sitting there. You could see that Jim is kind of itchy to put the kid in a little bit more. But McNamara doesn't really make many mistakes. He's only made one, and even that one against Nebraska, they were able to come through. Looks like barring a disappointment against Northwestern, they're going to be undefeated against that meat of the Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State schedule. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Michigan is a really good football team. I think their defense is as solid as a unit that I've seen on tape. I've watched Kentucky. I've had Cincinnati. Both those defenses are really good. Michigan is very similar to that. They got a lot of talent back there. I'll say this about the offense and the quarterback position. I think to go realistically, to go at Michigan State and win, to go at Penn State and win, and to keep this top 10 kind of thing going, the keys are going to have to get handed over. Because, Rich, you know this. At the end of the day, one kid can do stuff the other kid can't. And to go beat those two teams on the road while you lose some experience and you lose some valuing of the football, and I don't think McCarthy would be, reckless with it, I think that you are going to need some special, uncoachable to go beat both of those games or win both those games, if not either one. I think at some point you got to go, hey, young fella, go.
Yeah, obviously he's the one who told Alex Smith we're going to go with Kaepernick. I mean, he's done that before.
Yeah, good point.
And I don't know. You could just see he's toying with the idea. But I think he loves McNamara. I think he loves him, and for good reason. Kid hasn't turned it over.
He's played good. He's done exactly what they asked him to do. But I don't know if that is going to be enough on the road. I have Penn State this week, so I'm excited to see them. But I don't know if on the road it's going to be enough for those two teams, Penn State and Michigan State.
Who's the best team you've seen so far with your own two eyes? Then, Dan.
Yeah, the best team that I have seen so far is Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's defense gives them the ability to go beat anybody. Now, would Cincinnati play really good football over 12 weeks in the SEC? I don't know. Probably not, but I don't need them to in the college football playoff. Cincinnati's the best team I've seen so far. Kentucky is right up there with them as well.
Dan Orlovsky, at Dan Orlovsky7 on Twitter, at D Orlovsky on Instagram. Have a good show today. Let's do this again soon. I really appreciate it.
You're the man, boss. Thank you.
Right back at you, Dan Orlovsky. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.